Good morning. Good morning. Hi guys. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hi guys. Live from Boston. How are you doing today? Hi guys. How are you doing today? This is LaQueen Battle of Battle First Aid Responder Services. Just checking. I'm going to make really quick today a little quick live event. I just want to give remembrance and honor to the legacy of Congressman John Lewis of Georgia. A wonderful man, honored man, a lot of things that he has pretty much done. He was with the Freedom Riders, Dr. King, the March on Washington, the Civil Rights Act of 1965. I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the legacy, as well as everybody else that is pretty much recalling and pretty much recalling the legacy of John Lewis. We have lost a lot of civil rights leaders, um, pretty much recently since God, the last 5 years. Maya Angelou, John Lewis. There's a lot of activists that we have lost since the civil rights movement began. But let me just quickly. And John Lewis, who was only 80 years old, wonderful man, very nice, very intelligent. And then there was also C.T. Vivian. He was pastor. He died away at 95 years old. He was also another field activist for another general, civil rights general for Dr. King. Just all these people that are, the martyrs of the movement that are pretty much have passed away in recent 2 years. So I just want to go ahead and there've been so many. I can go on and on and on, name a couple. Um, recently there was Joseph Lowry. He was another civil rights movement. He died on March the 28th. There were so many friends of Dr. King. Wyatt T. Walker, he died on February the 20th. Rosa Parks, she died in 2005. A lot of good men. Okay, right. I got it. Okay. So the fabulous four of the civil rights movement: Dr. Martin Luther King of the SDLC, John Lewis of the student NSNCC, the Student Nonviolent Committee. Then there was Ralph Abernathy. He died, and then there was one more. Um, John Lewis, John Lewis, Dr. King, Ralph Abernathy, and then there was, I think it was Jesse Jackson. I'm not really sure. But again, we're getting ready for Jesse Jackson. He's not really doing that too well anyway. So we want to continue the movement of public safety, which I do here in Battle First Aid Responder Services, as well as continue services for the community, continue low-income housing, continue supportive services for health, especially with everybody dealing with the COVID issues right now. COVID-19 coronavirus is a really special disease right now. It has infiltrated every single area of the United States. So you want to concentrate on improving resources out there for people that are suffering from coronavirus, especially right now in Miami, Texas, and the southern hemisphere of the United States, as well as going into Mexico. So improving housing resources, improving health and human services, as what the civil rights movement did, as well as increase equal opportunity employment and increase equal access to education. The civil rights movement was great leaders, John Lewis, Dr. King, Jesse Jackson, Ralph Abney, so many other people out there, especially those fabulous four. But we still need to continue progress for the color community, the color folks, the Latin community, the Latin Gen X, the Black rights, the Blacks movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the indigenous people, increasing opportunity to their land as well. We still need to increase opportunities for those that are still in the civil rights movement. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but all, pretty much all the time, you still have to take things, okay? You still have to take life one day at a time. Seriously. Seriously. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. You have to take things. Sometimes you have to take things one day at a time. And that's really all it takes. It's just when you're going through situations in life and whatever kind of struggles you go through, um, it's really really hard. It is really really hard sometimes, um, but still, you can't do things by yourself. You're never supposed to be alone. You always need to connect with somebody else that can be on that same level that you are on. Okay, that has been through what you've been through, and all these mothers that I went through at the National Mothers March, they found a way to connect with each other. And here's John Lewis, especially Andrew Cuomo got through talking about him. John Lewis, Representative John Lewis, wonderful man, always free from, been in Congress for over 20, 30 years. Great leader, great man. Always the same thing, make the same thing, the same thing, make the focus. Increasing opportunity for the community, for the Black community. He's strong, he's a leader, he's always involved, doing things, whatever he can, making that his focus, and making that his goal. John Lewis, a wonderful guy. And still the civil rights movement continues on. It continues progressing. We still need to fight and do what we can as a community, as a Black community. We still need to get in there, be involved, participate in rallies and movements, pretty much be a focus for these young people that are going through struggles right now, that are struggling right now with, oh my God, COVID and it's taking away school and schooling and everything like that. We still need to continue the progress that the civil rights movement started. Okay, it's not over. Even though Dr. King is dead, even though Malcolm X is dead, the civil rights movement is still not over. We have a lot to do, and improving equal education access, improving housing access. I need, as well as other people need, increasing public safety. A lot of these Black Lives Matter events, people are exposing themselves to the media and exposing themselves to the communities and their privacy. Okay, their faces and their whole whatever their protest is about is being recorded on national television, on international television. And so they're exposing themselves to other hate groups as well. They may single them out. So that is another public safety issue as well as a public concern issue. A lot of these activists in the Black Lives Matter movement are being killed, are being shot because they are saying to the public, we're tired. We don't want no more prejudice. We don't want no more insults against ourselves and our community. We want to change our lives. And you know what? It's going to take some time. It's definitely right. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to take some time for our Black community to heal and to get better. Racism won't stop. Prejudice won't stop, but we still need to continue the fight. And what I've been talking about here on YouTube and Facebook on my Facebook live videos, as well as continue on what Dr. Reverend T.D. Jakes said, which is pretty much we want to turn this activism, these politics, these rallies into policy. We want to change all these rallies, all these walks, all this protesting into policy, changing protesting into policy. And I really do connect and follow with Reverend T.D. Jakes on that. I really connect with Reverend T.D. Jakes on that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I really connect with him on that. So that is another issue. And Reverend T.D. Jakes has been a part of the civil rights movement, but as well as other pioneers, Noel Jones. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's so many. I can't even think. I'm gonna go down. Father Michael Flagger. Current civil rights leaders. Al Sharpton. According to the Los Angeles Times, there's been plenty of people. Michelle Alexander, she's a lawyer in Columbus, Ohio. I mean, there's so many leaders. God. Erica Andiola, she's in Arizona. Then we have Jim Lo Scalzo. Okay, we have Nahad Awad in DC. There's so many people out there. Kimberly Brandt of the Black Girls Code in San Francisco. So many. Susan Burton, A New Way of Life in Los Angeles. There's so many young people out there. Michael Ta-Nehisi Coates, Michael Robinson Chavez. I think he's a journalist. Miss Coates is a writer. Jeff Benjamin Crump, he's an attorney, civil rights attorney. Great guy, I've heard of him. Patrice Kohler, she's a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement in LA. Oh my God. Oh my God. Fania Davis. She's a founder of the Restorative Justice for Oakland Youth in Oakland, California. I mean, YC Moret Davis, co-founder of Black Brunch. There's so many civil rights leaders out here. It is ridiculous. Janetta Elsie and DeRay McKeeson in Ferguson, Missouri, activists after what happened to their young man. Antonia French, he's an alderman in St. Louis, Missouri. Chad Griffin, he's president of the Human Rights Campaign in DC. I mean, there's Ashley Jackson. She's the director of the Human Rights Campaign in Alabama. It keeps going on and on. Bambi Salcedo, she's a founder and president of the Trans Latin Coalition in LA. There's so many people. Astrid Silva, immigration activist and attorney. There's so many people. Brian Stevenson, founder of the Equal Justice Initiative. Oh my God. Oh my. Astra Taylor, author, filmmaker, and anti-debt advocate in New York. So many people. I can go. Ciara Taylor, founder, director of Dream Defenders. There are so many people out here. It is ridiculous. Opa Tamedi, director of Black Alliance for Just Immigration in Brooklyn. There's so many people. I mean, God, there's so many people that are still continuing the legacy that Dr. King, Malcolm X, Robert Abernathy, and John Lewis, the Fabulous Four, left behind. Okay, so we still have a lot to do. We still have to continue to progress. Okay, now my nonprofit is called Black Battle First Aid Responder Services. I provide public safety. I provide adult pediatric services. I'm providing community health. I'm out here being an aid to people that really need it and that really need it most. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but we still have to continue the progression. We still have to continue the progress of making the movement matter and making a movement, okay, work for a lot of people. It's going to take some time. Okay, change does not happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. But we still have to continue the progress and continue the progression of what we need to do, which is increasing equal access to education and increasing equal access to education, housing, and employment. The big three, which Dr. King, which the civil rights did. Okay, increasing the big three: equal access to housing, employment, and education. That's it. And that's how you further progress the movement and further increase individuals with changing their lives. It's going to happen overnight, being an aid, being a need to people. Okay. It has the purpose and the mission of the civil rights movement has not changed. It has not changed, but we still need to continue to progress. Okay. There's so many people, so many leaders. It is so ridiculous. So many. Oh my God! Right here, I was just going on and on from that LA Times, Los Angeles Times article. But there's so many other people. Um, Currently ministers and evangelists, and there's so many people. Stacey Abrams, Dr. Bernice King, Dr. King's younger daughter. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Right here, here's one. Pastor Lee Jenkins in Atlanta, in Alpharetta, Georgia, the pastor of the Eagles Nest Church in Alpharetta, Georgia. It just goes on. Dr. Bernice King, Stacey Abrams, Ayanna Presley, Congressman here in Massachusetts. Kevin Parker in Brooklyn. It just goes on and on and on, and it does not change. I can't even. It has not changed. It has not changed. I'm just going through here right quickly. I'm gonna change the background in a minute. But I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But we still have to continue to in Georgia and Atlanta. God. I'm just trying to go on here. Give me a minute. I'm trying to find some leaders here. Creflo Dollar in College Park, Georgia. He's a great, great leader. You know, he's in Georgia outside of Atlanta. Goes on and on and on. God, I'm trying to think. Oh my God. Then there's Dr. Reverend Arthur Price in Birmingham, pastor of 16th Street Baptist Church, which was the church that those little girls were burned down. Then we have Bishop and Reverend Vashti Murphy McKenzie. She is in Baltimore. Pastor Kirby John Caldwell. He's in Windsor Village United Methodist Church in Houston. I mean, there's some Reverend, God, so many. Joseph Walker the third, Bishop Joseph Walker the third. These are just Price. Oh my God. There's wonderful black ministers out there. Then there's Samuel DeWitt Proctor of Harlem's Abyssinian Baptist Church, Reverend Jeremiah White, before he had that issue with President Obama, what he's talked about with President Obama. Great pastors and ministers in Harlem and the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens. Bill Jones. Bill Jones is a great minister. Bill Jones, I mean, Bill Jones is a wonderful minister. Bill Jones, great guy. Great. Well, Anita Bynum, she's great. She's done a lot for the Black community. Percy Crawford. Um, God, there's so many wonderful Black ministers in here. Um, God, let me see. Benny Hinn, he was a great one. He's done a lot for the community as well as in India. He's done a lot. Um, Eddie Long, before he passed away in Dallas, in South Dallas, he did a lot for the community. Miles Monroe, before he passed away, he did a lot for the community. God, there's a lot. Derek Prince in Asia. Pastor Derek Prince, he's a wonderful man. In Asia, great guy. Great guy. Paula White, Pastor Paula White, she's done a lot for the community in Tampa, Florida, and where she is. Done a lot for the community. Michael Youssef, great guy. I think he's in New York. I'm not sure. Pat Robinson, Oral Roberts. A lot of these ministers have still continued their support of the Black community. Done a lot. Bishop Noel Jones in Los Angeles, wonderful man. Bishop Paul Morton, love Paul Morton. Paul Morton, great guy, great guy. Bishop Clarence McKendon, oh my God, he's done a lot for the Black community. Dr. Takeda Williams in Florida, done a lot for the Black community. Bishop Hillard in Houston of the New Light Christian Center. Creflo Dollar in Fulton County, Georgia. He's done a lot. Dr. James David Manning in New York. Wonderful guy. Wonderful guy. This is rated the top 10 black ministers on the christianpost.com. Great guy. And Bishop T.D. Jakes is number 9. Reverend Bishop T.D. Jakes is number 9. On top of him is, oh my God, Dr. James David Manning, wonderful minister. In New York, Dr. James David Manning, amazing. He comes on the radio and he comes on TV every single week. Wonderful, wonderful. On Outline World Missionary Church in New York. Wonderful man, great man of God. Pastor Andre Butler in Michigan. God. Bishop T.D. Jakes is on the bottom. And Dr. Creflo Dollar, oh my God, his mega church in Georgia. Wonderful. He's done a lot, always giving out food and services to his, oh my God. Bishop Hillard in Houston, great guy. I haven't been to his church, but wonderful minister. Juanita Bynum, her ministry, she's done a lot for the black community. Always there, always there. Seriously, her story, her anointing, she's always supporting herself, especially uplifting black women. Thank you, Dr. Juanita Bynum. Thank you, Dr. Juanita Bynum. Clarence McKendon, amazing, amazing. Paul Morton, amazing. There's so many. CeCe Winans, BB Winan, BB and CeCe Winans. There's so many black singers that have done so much for the civil rights movement. It's ridiculous. As well as ministers, as well as singers. This Google is sucks. But I have a brain fart now and I'm really tired. People still, ministry, singers, artists, civil rights leaders, government people, they're still progressing the movement and the change that Dr. King and Malcolm X, a lot of people have left since the 1960s. It still has not changed. Like I said, if we can help each other get together and help improve access to the big 3, equal access to housing, equal access and opportunity for education, and equal access and opportunity for employment. Housing, education, and employment. Those are the big 3. They have never changed and they still remain the same today. You'd be surprised how much problems the black community, as well as colored people, have just with those 3 issues right there. Okay, housing, education, and employment. You will be surprised how many of the black community cannot rely on the government, are very self-dependent, run their own businesses, highly educated, without any kind of assistance from the government. You would be very, very, very surprised. Very surprised. So we still need to continue work and we still need to continue the progress and the goals that Dr. King and Congressman John Lewis of the SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Commission, left behind. Left behind. It still has not changed. It still has not changed. And on top of that, we have a lot to do. Okay? We have a lot to do. Still continuing to progress and continuing to change our lives and our livelihood. Okay? The mission remains the same. The mission remains the same. But do not forget the legacy of Representative Congressman John Lewis, as well as the legacy of those who are out in the community, out in the healthcare world, out making choices and decisions for people all around the world. Now, currently with me, I'm figuring out where I am with these services that I'm going through right now. I'm going through the ICD-9 codes, toxicology codes, figuring out how many services I can provide for about a first aid responder services. This is a 200-page toxicology report of all the medical services, all the community services that I have to go through and figure out where do I stand and all the services that I can provide with my nonprofit. So I have to go through this book. It's 200 pages, okay? As well as I did apply for my provider license. I'm very happy about that. And I'm trying to apply to graduate school at the same time. I'm doing some family history and research. Oh my God. And I'm currently also doing research on COVID-19. I'm also applying for my community health worker and my community peer support worker. Okay. I'm applying for 5 licenses this weekend and I got to pay my rent. I am applying for 5 licenses. Okay. 5 licenses this weekend. I've been up for the past 24 hours doing online, doing research on the health services that I have to do. So I am applying for 5 licenses. 5 licenses, okay, this weekend. I'm applying for my peer support license. I'm applying for to provide peer support services. I'm applying for my NPI provider license to be a first aid provider, clinical service provider, as a community. Okay, it's a lot. Okay, let me write down. Okay, so I'm applying for my provider license to provide community health services. So I'm applying for a peer support license. I'm applying for a provider license. I'm applying for a community support license. Community support license. I'm applying for a national provider license. And I am also applying for, hold on, there's one more. It's a lot. And my HIV education peer support license. Look, Queen, you're a hot mess. Yes, I am. I'm applying for 5 licenses, board licenses. Yeah, I'm a hot mess. I am a hot mess. But I'm trying to get out there and do what I can. So I'm providing for my national provider license. I'm applying for HIV testing services. HIV testing services. That's 2. I'm applying for peer support. Peer support license. I'm applying for community health worker license. Community health worker license. And I'm also applying for the National State Board provider license. I'm providing community health first aid services. OMG. So let me get on my grind. I've got to get some money. I've got to get some funds. Seriously. I've got to get out there. I've got to do some work. I've got to do some, literally, I have to go to, and I need to do some crowdfunding. And I have an interview. Somebody called me for an interview. I am a hot mess, and I'm trying to get an appointment. Oh my gosh. So it is a lot. I'm doing a lot right now. Is this another one? Yeah, and my DEA number. That's 6 licenses to provide insulin treatments or just basic medication treatments. Like HIV, in order to provide HIV testing, you need a DEA number. Trying to be a community health center. And applying to Harvard and Boston University. So we still need, and I'm going to be doing another podcast and some webinars this weekend. Continuing the progress, continuing the goals that we still have to work on as a community. There's a lot that we have to change, a lot that we have to go through, but the purpose remains the same. The purpose remains the same. And you know what? It has not changed from John Lewis to Emmanuel. Oh my God, who was the other congressman who just passed? John Lewis, as well as who just died. Elijah Cummings. Elijah Cummings and John Lewis look exactly the same. But we still have to continue the progress and continue our goals. Our goals remain to change, and you know what? It's not gonna change. You know what? The civil rights movement, the goals that we have as a community, it is not gonna change one bit. One bit. We still have to continue to progress to change our community, and our goals. We have to fight for access, fight for our liberties, and fight for injustice, especially against police brutality. What Monica Calhoun is doing here in Boston with the mayor, Marty Wash, great guy, and Ben Wash in Syracuse, and Marty Wash, and the Kennedys. The Kennedys have not changed. The Kennedys have not changed either. The Kennedys have not changed their movement and their progression. So there's still a lot to do. Okay? So we cannot forget their legacy and what they fought for, what they're standing for. We still have a lot to do. Okay? Time may change, but our focus should still remain the same on providing access and opportunities for people that need assistance, for low-income people, for people that are minority and colored individuals. We still have a lot to do. A lot to do. I wish I had better lighting. But the goal and the focus remains the same. The goal and the focus should still remain the same. Okay, it should still remain the same. Increasing opportunity and increasing access for those who need it most. For those who need it most. Yes, you are right. You are absolutely right. The focus should not change. It should remain the same. And even though John Lewis and Elijah Cummings, great civil rights movement, as well as the one I posted on my Facebook, great man right here. He was from Brooklyn, a leader right here. Let me see, go to my Facebook right here. Great civil rights leaders, great. A lot of good people, a lot of good people. A lot of good people have passed away, but I'm trying to find them, but the mission and the focus should still remain the same. Increasing access and increasing equal opportunity and leadership for the people that need it most, for the civil rights movement. It should still remain the same. Grateful that I have people and mothers and women like Malako Calhoun, as well as people in the civil rights movement that will not change it. So this La Queen Battle First Aid Responder Service is Saturday. It's 1:00 here on the East Coast in Boston, Massachusetts, as well as in New York. Shout out to my family from Texas who are going through the COVID-19 crisis right now. I do really continue to support you. Hope that you are well and safe and sound, as well as my family and friends in Los Angeles, Nevada, Oregon, Las Vegas. I am doing research and I know who you are. Las Vegas, Oakland, Las Vegas, Oakland, Oregon. I mean, everywhere. Missouri, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and especially in North Carolina and the UK and England. I'm still doing research on you guys, so I know who you are and I know where you stay. This is LaQueen Battle, certified medical assistant, certified first aid and first adult and pediatric first aid, as well as going to be community health worker by the state of Massachusetts, as well as a provider, and just going out there helping out the community. I love you guys. Please continue to support and give love out to the military, our military service members and veterans who have given their lives, as well as shout out to my little brother, LaKeen Jemiah Harris, who's a real estate agent and a car salesman outside of Los Angeles, California right now. Shout out to my little sister, little princess Elaine Kennard, who just graduated from graduate school at University of California with her graduate degree in social work. Congratulations, little princess. As well as to all my friends and military friends and family. I love you guys. Shout out from the Queen, as well as to my Army Reserve unit in Seagoville, Texas, and Little Rock, Arkansas, 94th General Hospital Combat Medical Unit in Seagoville, Texas, and Little Rock, Arkansas, main headquarters and base. I love you guys with the 116th Regiment. I love you guys. Combat Ministry. Please continue to keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I'm going through a lot, but I will make it one day at a time. I love you guys. This is LaQueen from Boston, Massachusetts. This is my office, a battle first aid responder services. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Bye.